Continuation of the original text, birthday, with deep development and engagement techniques. Your birthday as a mirror, what your relationship with this date reveals about you. There is a curious detail about people who despise their birthdays. They almost always have a unique relationship with time. It's no wonder that, while most people mark the passing of the years with parties, gifts, or at least a congratulations on Facebook, they prefer to ignore the clock. But why does this happen? Is it just detachment, or a silent rebellion against the pressure to be happy on a specific day? Think about it. Society teaches us that a birthday is synonymous with an obligatory celebration. Since we were children, we are conditioned to wait for cake, candles, and the cliché question, "What are you going to order?" But what if, for some people, this expectation became an invisible burden? A reminder that another year has passed, and things haven't changed as they dreamed. The emotional mathematics behind don't call. Let's do a simple, but painful, calculation. Birthday equals date equals passage of time equals what did I do, or not do, with it. For those who avoid celebrating, this equation often results in guilt, frustration, or even panic. It's no wonder that psychologists call this birthday syndrome a mix of existential evaluation and fear of not being in the right place in life. Real and cruel examples we heard in the office. Every year, on my birthday, my mother would call drunk. At 30, I decided I'd rather forget. My father died in the month of my birthday. Since then, any celebration seems like a betrayal to me. I always made plans. At 25, I'll be married. At 30, with children. Now I'm 35, single, and the cake just reminds me of what didn't work. The brain makes a quick calculation. If I don't celebrate, I won't have to face the emptiness of not having reached my goals. If I don't expect anything, I won't be disappointed. But here's the fascinating paradox. Many of these people celebrate other people's birthdays with genuine enthusiasm. Why? Because, for them, love is not a date, it is a daily choice. And that brings us to a disturbing question. What if you don't hate birthdays? You hate what it represents. Let's go beyond the obvious. It's not just about not liking parties. It's about what that specific day triggers in you. See some triggers hidden behind indifference. 1. The ghost of unmet expectations. As a child, I hoped my father would remember. He never did. The birthday becomes a test. Will someone surprise me this time? Spoiler, disappointment hurts more than indifference. 2. The right age trap. At 18, I should have been in college. At 25, married. At 30. And so on. Each extinguished candle becomes a silent judgment. Where did I go wrong? 3. The fear of being the center of attention, even for a day. For introverts or people with social anxiety, being congratulated is like being put on a stage without rehearsal. I'd rather no one notice. That way, I don't have to perform happiness. 4. The rebellion against forced consumerism. Why do I have to spend money or receive gifts just because the calendar says so? A philosophical and legitimate critique of the hypocrisy of empty celebrations. 5. Unresolved grief. Losses, separations, or traumas associated with the date turn the anniversary into a symbolic tomb. How can I celebrate my life if the person who made me happy is no longer here? And now, the question that few ask. If you really didn't care, why is this text making you think so much? The secret of people who turn not celebrating into a superpower. Here's the twist. Those who ignore their birthdays often master a rare skill, the art of celebrating life in the remaining 364 days. They don't need a day marked on the calendar to heavy check mark. Be grateful for the little things, a hot coffee, a silly laugh. Heavy check mark. Reinvent yourself in silence, without the pressure of New Year's resolutions. Heavy checkmark. Love without conditions. Gifts are not currency for affection. In other words, they understood that life is not a one-off event, it is a process. And processes do not fit into 24 hours of obligatory happiness. What to do with this discovery? A guide for those who have identified. If you are one of those people who turns up their nose at congratulations, here are some suggestions, without judgment, without pressure. 1. Rewrite your birthday script. Don't like parties? Do something just for you, a spa day, a solo trip, or even nothing at all. Yes, that's valid too. Golden rule: if you are going to celebrate, let it be by choice, not by obligation. 2. Swap the date for a personal ritual. Instead of a cake, plant a tree, symbol of growth. Instead of gifts, donate something: books, blood, time to a sheltered person. Why? You turn Ego Day into a day of purpose. 3. Talk to your past self. Write a letter to yourself 10 years ago. What did you expect to happen today? What actually happened, and was it better than you imagined? Side effect: you will realize that, even without parties, your life has more light than you see. 4. Allow yourself to receive, even just a little. If someone wants to congratulate you, respond with a simple thank you, without justification, without discontinuing conversation. Why? You are not being ungrateful, you are practicing vulnerability, and that is courage. 5. Create your own tradition. Some real customer examples. Every year, I watch my favorite childhood movie. I'm going to a place I've never been before, even if it's just a new neighborhood. I spend the day offline, as if it were a retreat. The key: make the day about connection, with yourself or the world, not about performance. The big reveal: your birthday is not about you. It seems contradictory, but it's true. Those who suffer most from indifference towards birthdays are the people who love you. Think about it. Your mother keeps the date like a treasure, even if you pretend to forget. Your best friend knows you don't like fuss, but sends you a message anyway. That co-worker who never forgets to wish you a good day. They are not celebrating a number. They're celebrating how lucky they are to have you around, even on the days when you don't want to be celebrated. In closing, a question that will hurt, but needs to be asked. If you reached the end of your life and looked back, what would weigh the most? The years you ignored, out of fear, anger, or disillusionment? Or the moments when you chose, even if silently, to honor your own existence? Because, deep down, not celebrating your birthday is not a problem. The problem is letting indifference for a day turn into indifference for life. Your challenge today: yes, you. 1. Choose one thing, just one, that you will do differently on your next birthday, even if it's just allowing yourself to smile when someone congratulates you. 2. Comment here: what is your relationship with this date? Love, hate, indifference? Tell your story, it might help someone feel less alone. 3. Share with anyone who needs to read this. Maybe it's the message they've been waiting for to forgive themselves. And remember, you are not obligated to celebrate. But you also don't have to punish yourself for not fitting the mold. It's your life. The days too. Make of them what you will. Until the next reflection. Yellow Heart. And yes, I know you don't like birthdays, but today, just today, allow yourself to receive this text like a hug. The birthday you never had, and what it says about you. There is a type of loneliness that is not measured by the absence of people, but by the presence of a void that no one sees. It's the loneliness of someone who looks at the birthday cake and sees, instead of candles, nhas, all the expectations that he had erased alone. From those who hear congratulations and feel the weight of a script that they never agreed with themselves. Have you ever stopped to think that ignoring your own birthday could be the most radical form of self-knowledge? It's not about not liking parties. It's about refusing to perform a happiness that doesn't fit in your chest. It's saying, without words, I'm not what you expect me to be on this day. And that's okay. But here's the question few ask: what are you celebrating or avoiding when you choose to erase this date? The emotional mathematics behind not celebrating. Each year that passes without candles, without posts, without congratulations, is a silent calculation. Subtraction: if I don't celebrate, I won't be disappointed. The equation of those who have waited too long and received too little. Division: if I divide this day into normal hours, it loses its power to hurt me. The strategy of those who transformed the date into any day to survive. Multiplication: if I multiply my attention on work routine anything, there's no room left to think about it. The refuge of those who prefer the noise of productivity to the silence of reflection. But what if, instead of erasing, you rewrote that date? I'm not talking about parties. I'm talking about reclaiming, taking back a day that, for years, belonged more to others than to you. Birthday as a mirror, and what it reveals. Your relationship with this date is an emotional map of your final years. Please note. 1. If you completely avoid. Possible meaning, there is a wound of abandonment, someone important forgot, or a belief of undeserving, I didn't do anything worth celebrating. Question to reflect on, what would happen if, just this year, you allowed this day to be about you without blame? 2. If you celebrate, but with bitterness. Possible meaning, you associate your birthday with social obligation, I have to do something to not disappoint. Question to reflect on, what do you really want to do on this day? Without filtering by other people's opinions. 3. If you make the day a routine. Possible meaning, self-protection measure, if it doesn't matter, it doesn't hurt. Question to reflect on, what could this day symbolize for you, besides another 24 hours? The secret of those who rewrite their dates. I know people who turned their birthdays into a day to check in with themselves. Instead of gifts, they made a list. What did I learn? What did I leave behind? A ritual of solitary gratitude, a coffee in a special place, a letter to themselves. An act of silent rebellion, they did exactly what they wanted, even if it was staying at home watching series. The common point. They stopped being hostages to the date and started using it as a tool for self-knowledge. Your challenge, it's not about partying. It never was. 1. This year, do one thing, just one, that is 100% about you. Could it be? Buy that book you've been putting off for months. Spending the day without justifying your choices to anyone. Write a letter to yourself at age 20, or at 80. 2. Reply here. If your birthday was a character, what would it be like? A ghost that haunts? An old friend you avoid? A mirror you don't want to look at? What would you let this character say to you this year? 3. Share with someone who needs to hear that. Not celebrating is not a character flaw. Celebrating your way is not selfish. This day is yours. Not a weight, not a performance. A point on the map of your life and you decide what to do with it. The truth no one tells. You don't have to like birthdays. You are not obliged to post, to smile, to thank. But you also don't have to punish yourself for not fitting in. Life is not a straight line of commemorative dates. Sometimes it's a puzzle of loose days, and some of them you don't need. M of candles to shine. Today, allow yourself one thing. Let this text be the only congratulations you need to hear. Not for the day he was born, but for each day he chose to continue, even when no one was looking. Until the next reflection, and remember, your existence alone is reason enough. Yellow heart. P.S. If you've made it this far, it's because some part of you needs to hear this. Keep this text. Come back to it when the date arrives. You're not alone in this. The birthday that didn't fit in the calendar. Have you ever noticed how some dates carry an invisible weight? It's not just the day itself, but everything it brings with it, expectations, memories, the shadow of those who have passed away, or even the absence of those who should be there. A birthday, for many, is not a celebration, it is a mirror that reflects not only one's age, but all the versions of oneself that have ever existed. And looking in that mirror sometimes hurts. Imagine, for a second, that your birthday is not a day, but a book. Some chapters are light, laughter, cake, tight hugs. Others, however, are crumpled pages. The year you cried alone, the party that no one remembered, the gift that never arrived. What do you do with a book like that? Keep it on the shelf, as if it didn't exist. Tear out the bad pages and pretend they never happened. Or, perhaps, the most difficult, do you sit down and reread everything, until you understand that the story is still being written? Here's a truth that few people talk about. A birthday isn't about the day you were born, but about how you outlived all the others. And surviving is sometimes an act of silent rebellion. It's waking up once again after the night you didn't want to sleep. It's smiling in the mirror even when your reflection looks like a stranger. It's choosing to continue, even when the world seems to have forgotten about you. What to do when the day doesn't fit you. If today is that day, the one that weighs you down, the one that scares you, the one that brings more questions than answers, give yourself permission to. 1. Not performing. It is not mandatory to smile, post, thank or pretend that everything is okay. Your pain doesn't need an audience. 2. Rewrite the script. If a birthday for you is synonymous with loneliness, transform it. It could be the day you buy that book you've been putting off for months. Drink coffee in a new place, alone, without guilt. Write a letter to yourself, the version you were a year ago and the version you want to be in 1 year. 3. Celebrate small survivals. Didn't you conquer the world? Survived him. Don't have a love on the side. He learned to love himself alone. Didn't achieve all your dreams. You're still dreaming. That, in itself, is a victory that few recognize. 4. Let go. If today it hurts because of those who are no longer here, allow yourself to miss them without remorse. Cry, curse, laugh at the memories. Grief is also love that cannot be put into words. The most radical thing you can do today. In a society that measures happiness by likes and candles, the greatest rebellion is to refuse to be measured. Your birthday doesn't have to be a party, if you prefer silence. Deep reflection, if today you just want distractions. A milestone of success, if life, at this moment, is about resisting. It could simply be that, one day. A point on the timeline, no better or worse than yesterday or tomorrow. A reminder that you are still here, and that in itself is extraordinary. For those who are reading this and need to hear. If you've made it this far, it's because some part of you knows you deserve more than the pressure of having to celebrate. So let me tell you something. You are not ungrateful for not liking congratulations. It's not cold because you prefer to ignore the date. It is not defective because it feels like something is missing. You are, quite simply, human. And being human means, sometimes, carrying dates that hurt without knowing why. It's having days that should be special, but turn into reminders of what didn't work out. And it's okay. Because in the end, deep down, what matters is not how you mark this day on the calendar, but how you mark your own life. And if today you chose to read these words, take a deep breath and move on, then congratulations. Not for the birthday, but for the courage to exist, even when existing is difficult. A gift that doesn't need wrapping. If I could give you something today, it wouldn't be a physical gift. He would be permission not to be perfect. The right to feel whatever you feel, without justification. The certainty that you are not alone in this even if, right now, you feel that way. Save this text. Come back to it when the date arrives again. And remember, life is not just made of happy days, but of true days. And today, whatever the case, he is one of them. P.S. If you know someone who avoids their birthday like it's a trap, share this with them. Sometimes the greatest relief is knowing that someone understands the weight of a day that should be light. And if you want more reflections like this, no filters, no clichés, just truth, let me know in the comments. Because stories like yours deserve to be heard. Until next time. And remember, you are not a date. You are a story. And stories don't need applause to be incredible. Yellow Heart. P.P.S. If today is your birthday and you're reading this alone, know that wherever I am, I'm rooting for you. Even if you don't want to celebrate. Even if no one else knows.